Hello! I am so glad that you could be here today. My name is Rich, the channel is called New Memphis, and today I'm painting up some very, very fun undead gene stealer cult. These models originally came to me in a used, hard-used eBay lot, and they weren't in bad shape, but they needed some love. So I ended up scraping off most of the old paint, giving these a nice bath in alcohol. I unfortunately don't have a sonic cleaner though, so a lot of the detail still ended up really clogged, especially around the faces. And I figured by the time I actually managed to, scrub them clean, I'd end up losing half the detail anyway. So, what's a miniature painter to do at that point? Get creative, obviously. If you'd like to see the details on where individual pieces came from or about the basing, I actually have another video about that, so I'm not really going to go into detail about it here. Today is just about painting. So, with that in mind, I'm excited to just get started. Sound good to you? Let's do it. And here is the project. 10 Neophyte Hybrids that fortunately were not near as clogged with primer, glue, whatever was in the crevices and cracks as the rest of the army was, but I still changed out the heads for skulls just to keep them coherent with everything else. We also have our patriarch to do, the leader of our army. However, I think I'd like to start with the hybrids and just focus on getting some paint on them. We'll come back to the patriarch in a bit. I'll be using Vallejo paints for the entirety of this video, starting with flat blue for any of the cloth sections, like their shirts, pants, or just general torn clothing. If I hadn't already painted my Acolyte hybrids in red, I would have painted these in red instead, because they actually remind me a lot of the X-17 trauma suits from Fallout New Vegas. Here they are with just that little bit of blue. Not a bad start so far. Here they are with a few more details in black and silver. Hope I'm not going too fast, but we're going to get to the fun stuff in a bit. These neophytes are all armed with shotguns, but I wanted to show a mix of civilian and also military firearms amongst the same group. I painted all of the barrels in black, but then did some of the receivers in German extra dark green, others in gold, and one in gray. I then gave them all a dry brush with silver to add some easy highlights. Truth be told, the guns painted in gold look a bit too much like DLC guns from Grand Theft Auto for my taste, but I think they'll look fine once we get some black wash on there. I also noticed these little sticks that are on the belt of every single one of the models. While I can only dream that it's part of official Games Workshop lore that every Neophyte hybrid is armed with nunchucks, I think they're supposed to be dynamite, so that's what I'm going to paint them as. After that, I went back to the black sections of the armor and dry brushed all of them with bronze. There is a slight reason for that, which we'll talk about later when we get to the patriarch, but for now, we're just going to use this to bring out the detail on this model. Of course, then I immediately got some bronze on the skull, but that's okay. I can fix that with just a little bit of white. Here they are with a couple more details filled in. Still very far from done and need a lot of work, but we're getting there, I also have an update on where the patriarch was around this time. I wasn't planning on showing him, but he just looks so fabulous with this nail polish. I was testing some colors, I just wanted to show it, I just think it's funny. I'm sorry, I'll be serious now, I promise. Maybe. I left these overnight to make sure all the colors had completely dried and then got ready to do some black wash the next morning, which is always my favorite part. I did have to be really careful not to get the black wash on the skulls, or anything made of bone. Yeah, those are definitely going to need all night to dry. So while that's happening, why don't we talk a little about the lore of this army and what I'm thinking about. Those of you who follow my Instagram will know I've actually been painting models in this army for quite a while now. Specifically, the aberrants were some of the most clogged, and so they were some of the first projects I wanted to tackle. And the theme I was thinking was that they were maybe chaos demons taken by the Patriarch and made to serve the Gene Stealer cult. However, the leaders of the group of aberrants are all humans. These are my big brains, and I'm going to be using their paint scheme to inform some of the skin tones that I'm going to use for the other, mostly human Neophyte Hybrids. However, after washing these, I actually couldn't sleep, so, made myself some coffee and got back to it. Just wouldn't be a painting project if there weren't at least one 4 a.m. painting session. Here they were once they had dried, and boy do those shadows add a lot. I still have some touch-ups to do, there are some flaws here and there, little things I need to fix, but they're looking good so far. Specifically, the colors I used on my big brains were cork brown for the actual base tone, and then a wash of Vallejo black red. I painted the tops of the bases with Vallejo intermediate green, which I forgot to show, then the sides of the bases with flat green, and washed the entire thing with a very, very thinned down, obviously, Vallejo German extra dark green. After that, I came back and gave them a dry brush of yellow, and at this point I am kind of curious how many of you can tell what scheme I'm kind of going for here. Now, unfortunately, that's the last we'll see of the Neophyte Hybrids before the grand reveal, because I wanted to do a little bit of experimenting for myself. But we can check in on the Patriarch and go through what I was thinking for him. It just so happens we're painting the undead, and it also just so happens that I've been playing a lot of Immortal Empires recently. Specifically, I've been playing as Volkmar the Grim. So just to pay Manfred back for all of his vampires I've been killing, why not take some inspiration from the vampire counts for our undead leader of this army? After base coating the body of the Patriarch in black, I gave it a dry brush of bronze, just like with our Neophyte Hybrids. I painted the base in basically the same way as the Neophyte Hybrid, so no point in recounting that, and I gave a much less ridiculous color red to all of the nails. I also used a very vibrant blue for the tongue, a little more vibrant than I originally thought, but it sticks out really well, so I kind of want to keep it. The last thing I'll show before I go off to experiment a bit more is the tracing with yellow that I was doing along the nails. I've never done anything like this before, so actually, you know what? I think it turned out pretty well. I am going to do a bit more during the experimentation stage, so hang on. I hope you guys are excited. Hope you're ready. Hope you want to see it. And, I don't know. I don't need to keep you in suspense anymore, do I? Okay, well, that project took way longer than it probably should have for being 11 models, but it's alright. Got there eventually. Actually, I am really happy with how these turned out. Maybe I wish I could have done some more highlights, you know, on the blues, especially on some of the Neophyte Hybrids, but to be honest, they're rank and file troops. I mean, I still got another 10 to do, probably more if I want to build an entire army, so I don't want to run away with this. As for my next project, I think I'm going to do some Gloomspite Gitz figures that I got from the Warhammer Underworlds clearance sale that Games Workshop did 6 months ago, something like that. I'm really excited to get to them. In all honesty, part of it's because I've been reading Wizards of Earthsea, and I'm just really in a very magical mood, I guess. So I hope you guys stick around for that. If you like the video or you like my content, you can feel free to give me a like or a comment. That helps to boost the video in the YouTube algorithm so that it'll get recommended to other people. If you didn't like it, you can dislike it. You can, I don't know, you can, if you don't like it, you can throw your computer in the garbage. You can take your phone and smash it against the ground. That's always an option. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to go try to get started on the next project. It always feels strange to sort of wipe your hands clean of an old project. It's both refreshing and also depressing at the same time, but overall, I am happy to be walking away from this project because it's been a couple of months now, and I feel like I'm ready, you know, like ready to move on to something else and paint something, I don't know, something weird. Like, why not, right? So anyway, rambling aside, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Again, you can like or comment to help boost this video if you liked it, and honestly, I just hope you guys have a great day after this. I'll see you later.